1 minute to 0. This is Anglia Television.
Tuesday, the 27th of October, 1959. Anglia Television is on the air, bringing independent television for the first time to viewers in East Anglia. To the people of Norfolk and Suffolk, Essex, Cambridgeshire and Huntingdonshire, and neighbouring counties. To the townsmen of Norwich and Ipswich, centres of great agricultural areas and rapidly expanding industrial centres. Cambridge, seat of one of the country's two ancient universities and centre of artistic and athletic life. Ancient Colchester, city of magnificent historical monuments, garrison town since Roman days and famous in the annals of sport. Chelmsford, county town of Essex, county of forests, yachting centres and holiday playgrounds. To the dwellers round the Wash, in King's Lynn and Hunston, and on to Wells next the sea. To the fishermen of Yarmouth and Lowestoft and Cromer. To the people who live at the gateway to the continent at Harwich. To the lonely crews of the lightships and lighthouses that guard our coast. To those who live on the glorious Broads at Horning and Wroxham and Potter Heigham. To the village folk of Kirtling and Streatham and Horsham St. Faiths. To viewers in isolated cottages and farms in the heart of our countryside, introducing to all these people their own television service. Here in the ancient city of Norwich, at the television studios of Anglia House, Anglia Television is on the air for the very first time. Today is an historic one in the stories both of East Anglia and of independent television. An occasion fittingly marked by the presence in Anglia House of the chairman of the Independent Television Authority, Sir Ivan Kirkpatrick. He stands with the chairman of Anglia Television, Lord Townshend of Raynham.
Hello, everybody. Well, we're all ready to go. And I have Sir Ivan Kirkpatrick, Chairman of the Independent Television Authority, who's very kindly agreed to come down and open our station today.
I'm very glad that at last East Anglia is getting a second channel. We've got here an excellent program company which has the will and the ability to cater for the special needs of East Anglia. And I'm confident that they will bring you programs which will both entertain you and make you more aware of the events in the world around you.
Thank you very much, Ivan. Will you come this way with me? Now, Sir Ivan, if you will press this switch over when I say now, that will open our station. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Thank you very much.
Greetings. Welcome to the studios of Anglia Television. My name is Drew Russell, and as your chief announcer here, we're going to see quite a lot of each other in the future. You know, this studio is a remarkable place. Used to be a Victorian indoor cattle market. Here's what it looked like in 1882. This is how it was when Anglia took it over. Hard to visualize as a highly up-to-date television studio. But here, 18 months and £500,000 later, is Anglia House. So up-to-date, in fact, that it's the only television studio in Europe with an electronic brain that actually times and cues in the programs. We call it Topsy.
15.
Here we go.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, Darcy. Thank you.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Cue music. On 1.
Coming to 3.
Pull back a bit, Sarah. Turn round. Cut to 2.
To see what goes to make a show like this. What goes
Up in the
on
control
backstage?
room, the lighting engineer plays a kind of organ, which, instead of giving out music, controls the studio lighting. In the makeup rooms, the beautiful girls you'll be seeing in our programs are made even more beautiful. While the dress designers make sure they look like $1 million when they come to you on your screen. The artists and designers work away to give you the thrill of being in romantic and luxurious places. The record library stores thousands of titles, pops and classics. Just now, Petula Clark is choosing some of her favorites with musical director Norman Hackford. Side by side with the construction of the studio was the building by the Independent Television Authority of the tallest television mast in Europe, towering 1,000 feet above the Suffolk landscape at Mendlesham. Stars everywhere showed their impatience by having new aerials put up. What kind of programs, they quite rightly asked, are Anglia going to give us? Well, first there's the news, the local news, all about Anglia. The Nerve Centre at Anglia House will be receiving news of every occurrence 24 hours of the day. Head of News, Peter Kennelly, will shape it into the twice-daily bulletins following the national news. Every so often there'll be that hot story that'll send the stills photographer scuttling for his camera and the film unit scorching off to bring back the pictures for you. There'll be news of motor racing at Snetterton. Exciting moments on the hairpin bend. Bang up the minute pictures of the winners. Or when a big film is being made nearby, we'll be there talking to the stars. In Ipswich the other day, we had Richard Attenborough making The Angry Silence. Director Guy Green works out a tricky shot. Co-star Michael Craig takes it easy in the sun, running over his script. The news film negative is developed on a high-speed machine and is barely dry before the editor cuts and assembles the scenes, and it passes into the hands of the telecine engineers for transmission in the next bulletin. Two of my announcer colleagues, whose faces will soon be very familiar to you, are Newman Saunders and Colin Barr.
Basically, it comes down to 10 items for the Sunshine Bulletin anyway.
10 items? What, these 7 and 3 just come in, I suppose?
Just come in.
The speed of television.
That's it. Now, this House Fire one, very, very good film on that, just in time for tonight's bulletin, so it'll come in on second on the list, and after that, Colin, will be your interview with the Minister, right?
Righto, and how long have I got, and what line do you want me to take?
Well, I suggest you have 2 minutes, 2 minutes 10 perhaps, but, really winkle the truth out of him, dig it out of him.
Righto.
He can give us all the answers.
I'll do my very best, righto.
An outside broadcast, or OB unit, is a little less portable maybe, but it can go pretty nearly anywhere to bring you events at the moment they happen. Farming programs will be particularly interesting coming this way. The cameras taking you into the heart of the countryside and bringing you a breath of country air and the sounds of rural life. There'll be visits to farms all over East Anglia, and your host will be a Norfolk farmer with a unique knowledge of East Anglian agriculture.
My name is Dick Joyce. I'm a North Norfolk farmer, and I'm going to introduce the farming program each week starting next Sunday at 2:30. The program is to be called Farming Diary and will come from farms, farm institutes, experimental stations and schools of agriculture, and will feature the activities of young farmers' clubs and the workers' viewpoint. It is aimed at the farmer, but I'm sure it will be interesting to all East Anglians who are true lovers of the soil.
Outside broadcast cameras will be there at important events, like the recent general election, when Anglia cameras contributed to the national independent television coverage, reflecting the ordinary people's reactions to important affairs. Of very special appeal will be the regular Sunday morning services from Norwich Cathedral and churches further afield, bringing inspiration and comfort to many who would otherwise go without.
And now I'm in Cambridge. I'm in the rooms of a man whose face is familiar to millions of yours, Dr. Glyn Daniel of Cambridge University. He'll be on your screens once a fortnight, introducing a program called Town and Gown. Let's find out something about it, shall we? Dr. Daniel, this is a beautiful city, isn't it?
It most certainly is. And I think I'm very fortunate in having rooms here that look out through this window on one of the most lovely views in Europe, with its River Cam underneath, gardens, lawns, trees, and of course the backs of so many of the colleges.
Tell me something about this program, Town and Gown.
Well, there used to be a lot of rivalry between town and gown, between city and university, but there isn't now, fortunately, and we want to present in this program a picture of the life in both city and university. That's why we've called it Town and Gown.
Won't the program tend to be rather highbrow?
Don't think so. No reason why it should be. It'll vary from scholarship to the lightest possible form of entertainment, sport and drama.
Does the word gown in the title include the undergraduates?
Yes, certainly it does. And the young people of the city. The emphasis will be quite often on youth.
What about the undergraduates of the women's colleges?
Yes, we can't possibly do without them. And the ladies of Girton, Newnham and Newhall and the Dons, we shall be using them, of course. This old legend about blue stockings is dead long ago.
Oh, we'll be seeing Cambridge at work. Will we be seeing it at play?
Certainly, we hope so. You will see rowing on the river, you will see cricket in Fenners, and you will see the theatre. Cambridge has got 2 theatres. It's got the ADC, which was mainly the one for undergraduate productions, and then it's got the Arts Theatre, home of many original productions, which perhaps the most famous are the Footlights and the Marlowe, and we hope to have excerpts of them.
You sound like quite a drama enthusiast.
Well, the kind of way I am, and I'm looking forward to some of the plays that will be put on by Anglia.
Well, the first one, of course, is The Violent Years, with Hildegard Neff and Lawrence Harvey. And here are Lawrence Harvey and Hildegard Neff rehearsing a torrid love scene from this exciting play.
Johnny, you must come away with me. On the next train, we have so little time.
Darling, now the trains are the boats. Come out of your plots.
Oh, but
Oh, darling.
Well, then I must go alone.
Hold me tight, darling. Love me. This must last until we meet again.
Eight major plays a year will go out from Anglia on the national network. In charge of production, internationally famous George Moore O'Farrell, winner of many TV awards. Here he rehearses Hollywood stars Dawn Addams and John Ireland in a scene from our second play, a thriller called Sweet Poison. In addition, there will be the all-star shows coming to you from our associated stations, like Sunday Night at the London Palladium, coming your way every Sunday at 8 o'clock. And this week, starring Cliff Richards and the Beverly Sisters. Other great variety shows are Spot the Tune, starring Marion Ryan and Jackie Ray, The Song Parade with Ronnie Carroll and the Grenadiers, Val Parnell's Star Time, and Saturday Spectacular, which this week at 8 o'clock stars Jewel and Warris. One of the most popular shows in Britain is Emergency Ward 10, where stories of many kinds are brought out as patients from all walks of life come under the care of doctors and nurses whose personal as well as professional lives are brought before us. A more dramatic series is Interpol Collie, starring Charles Corbin as Inspector Paul Duval, and high on the national top 10 of television programs is the thriller series No Hiding Place, starring Raymond Francis as Chief Superintendent Lockhart. In a lighter vein, we bring you shows like Educating Archie and Castles on the Air, while at 8:25 on Fridays, the Army Game Shower are on parade. Thought-provoking features are not forgotten. What the papers say, right to reply, it can happen tomorrow, and the controversial This Week, independent television's longest-running current affairs program, are regular weekly presentations. These are bringing you the news behind the headlines. But the headlines themselves are highlighted 4 times a day by ITN from London, and local news from Anglia will be on your screens twice daily, Monday to Friday at 1:40 and 6:05. From top news to pop news, and the Saturday 6:30 spot more than filled by Boy Meets Girls, where Marty Wilde has a weekly date with the Vernon Girls. While if you're a square, you won't get around to the hottest show on television, Cool for Cats, with the cool cat himself, Kent Walton, on Mondays at 7. Among the great westerns coming to your screens every week are Maverick, Rawhide, Gun Law, The Deputy, Tombstone Territory, and one of the most popular shows in Britain, Wagon Train. 6 great westerns every week. For the quiz fans, there's Dotto on Thursday, Take Your Pick starring Michael Miles on Fridays, Concentration on Tuesdays, and on Mondays, Huey Green invites studio contestants to double your money. And now, here's our very own Marie Sheringham to tell you younger folk about your own program.
Thank you, Drew, and hello. For you younger people, every day there's small time bringing you a variety of features including The Adventures of Twizzle, The Musical Box, and The Adventures of Tom. Some of the really exciting shows you won't want to miss are Popeye, Rin Tin Tin, and The Cisco Kid, starring Duncan Ronaldo and Leo Carrillo. While on Fridays, there's the exciting and amusing Mickey Mouse Club. And don't forget on Saturdays, The Adventures of Robin Hood with Richard Green. Watch out every Saturday at 5 o'clock for this exciting opening.
I'm now actually in the middle of Studio A, from where, 5 times a week, Anglia Television's midday show will go out. Who better to tell you about it than the producer, Philip Bray.
Hello, everybody, or rather today, ladies and gentlemen and children, good afternoon.
Just excuse me, Philip. Good afternoon, everybody.
I just want to tell you a little about the midday show. The first conception of the midday show was that people from everywhere would come from a particular place every day in the week.
What about us? What about us?
Well, all right.
You talk
darling,
too much. What about us?
Party later. Shall we say?
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this is Susan Hampshire,
And my friends call me Lottie Teasett, and this is my little friend.
who I hope is going to sing for us occasionally, and this is Roger Gage. He's going to sing too sometimes. So that'll be
Listen,
wonderful.
I know. You just. I want to tell you something. Philip is our producer, and we're very fond of him. And
We love him.
But we've got to keep in his good books because he's our boss. And so, from time to time, we bring in presents. I've got one for you today. Would you like this?
I bet you have.
Would you like this?
Yes.
Anything. This is just to keep our strength up. You know, you're going to have a tough time with this program.
What do I do?
Then pull it. Go on. I'll leave you there, too.
Don't
Oh, you look so lonely on the television on your own, Philip. I
Well,
think
anyway,
I'll stay with
let's get on with it, darling. You know, excuse me, won't you? Over on the other side of the studio is rather a big piano, and that's going to be regularly played for you by a person you know very, very well. You've never seen very much of him, but you know his voice very well.
And the next object is the midday show. The midday show.
Presenting the voice, Norman Hackford.
Hello, and how do you do, everybody? I'd like to play you a little tune which I've written especially for the midday show, which I hope you'll be hearing quite a lot of in the near future. It's called Put Your Feet Up.
Got myself stuck. What was I going to talk about? Oh, yes. One of the main things about this program is that we want to present to you the discoveries that we've made throughout East Anglia. In Cambridge, we made one wonderful discovery, a 16-year-old girl who plays the double bass, presenting Betty Bass.
And the 3 musicians whom we found to support Betty Bass, we call her bachelors. I'd like to introduce you to them. First of all, Roy Webster, percussion. Bob Bissetto, guitar. And Peter Finn, piano.
And all these people, together with Peter Yolland, the director you saw working up in the box in the control room, and that gorgeous girl, June Howson, who continuously mixes our vision, and that indomitable production assistant of mine, Dorothy Bookman, who, bless her, never lets me overrun. We've become known as the Midday Shower, and at 1 o'clock every day, we'll be bringing to you the Midday Show. Now, here in rehearsal, get out of this thing. In rehearsal, we've got a number that should be called Let's Put the Whole Thing On, but it's really called Let's Call the Whole Thing On.
Things have come to a pretty pass. Our romance is growing flat. For she likes this and t'other, while I go for this and that.
Goodness knows what the end will be. Oh, I don't know where I'm at. It looks as if we two will never be one.
Something must be done. You say either, and I say either. You say neither, and I say neither.
Either.
Either.
Neither.
Neither. Let's call the whole thing off.
You say potato, and I say potato. You say tomato, and I say tomato.
Potato.
Potato.
Tomato.
Tomato.
Let's call the whole thing off. But oh, if we call the whole thing off, then we must part.
And oh, if we ever part, then that might break my heart.
So if you like pajamas and I like pajamas, I'll wear pajamas and give up pajamas.
For we know we need each other, so we better call the calling off.
Let's call the whole thing off. So if you like pajamas and I like pajamas, I'll wear pajamas and give up pajamas.
For we know we need each other, so we better call the calling off.
Let's call the whole thing. Let's call the whole thing off.
Well, that was a quick preview of some of the star shows we'll be bringing you. I hope you enjoyed your television tour of our studios, and we hope to welcome lots of you to our studios as our guests on the midday show in the near future. Now, just before we go back to the music, something rather nice has just happened. It's been happening all morning and all afternoon, and we didn't really expect it. We've been getting telegrams and cables from not only the whole of Britain, but from all over the world. Would you like to see them? And those are just a few, because they're still coming in. They're coming in every minute, and it's very nice of you to send us them, and thank you very much indeed. And we'd also like to thank our studio audience for coming along today and lending their great moral support. And now it's goodbye from all of us here in Studio A of Anglia Television. But, Norman, it's all yours. Goodbye.